Hi there everyone, Volatile42 here. So I'm headed to the Kawasaki dealership to check out the Versys 650 because that's the next bike on my list to check out. So if you saw the last video where I was talking about shopping for the new bike, I had tested the Benelli TRK 502, and that was a pretty good bike. I liked it, and it's still a contender. I really like that bike, but the only thing is the performance could be better. So it's something like I would be happy with the bike initially, but somewhere down the line, I may be wanting something a little better, a little more powerful, because the way it is currently, the TRK 502 is adequately powered for most situations, but sometimes you need to feel that thrill of going down the highway at decent speeds without much effort. So yeah, the Versys is next in line. There's one thing, of course, that I really like about the TRK, and that's and it's probably the TRK which is the best amongst all the bikes in this regard. There would be the price to value ratio. You get a lot for what you're paying. It's also the cheapest amongst the ones that I'm considering as of now. I can afford it relatively easily. But yeah, like I said earlier, I don't want to take any hurried decisions. I want to check out all the options on the market, take my time, and then decide. So today it's the Versys, so let's go check it out. Feels big. It's probably taller too. Yep, I can reach the that's the famous Kawasaki 650 sound. The clutch engagement seems a little far off. Okay, how does it compare to the TRK? At low speeds, you really can't tell much difference. The seating posture is much more sporty, mainly with regard to the pegs. They're much more rear set. Handlebars are lower, but even the TRK had lower handlebars. But the thing is, because of the foot peg position, this feels much more natural. I mean, your upper body is leaning forward much more naturally because your feet are a little more behind. Yeah, definitely sporty. As I say, this is kind of like a ninja on stilts. Brakes are quite sharp, It's gonna be a short test ride. Because anyway, I can't take it to any place where I can do some high-speed running. It's all city center, busy, congested roads for the most part, but that also gives you a good idea of how it's like to handle on such roads. The torque, I'm in second gear. It's good, but not really. Well, I can't really open up, so I shouldn't be saying it's not great, but there are some vibes in first gear when you rev up to like 4,000 so. It's good. Better than the TRK, of course. Better than my Harley? Maybe. Can't say. Not a lot more for sure. Brakes, they're sharp, but they're not progressive. But again, at low speeds, it's hard to tell because you can only brake so much when you're already going slow. Let me go again for another short round. $3,600 kilometers on the auto, so should have been properly run in. Comfort, seat comfort, I think it's pretty good. Although I think the TRK is going to be more comfortable for longer rides. I can't flat foot. If I really stretch on one side, I can. But the other side, yeah, tiptoe. Okay, this is supposed to have positive neutral finder, so when you're stopped and you're in first gear, just push it up and you won't slip past neutral into second, it will stop at neutral. I really like the sound of this bike. I mean, see, so far it's my first time on a Kawasaki of any kind. Well, not really. Definitely my first time on one of these famous Kawasaki Z650 twins. They have this famous engine which was initially famous, I think, only for the Ninja 650, and now for the past several years it's also on the Versys and now the Z. I'm not sure if the Ninja came much before the Versys. The Versys itself is also pretty, it's not that new. So yeah, so it's a very famous engine in the mid-range. Yeah, love the sound, but like I was saying, it's the first time on actually riding one. So far I'd only heard them on videos. I really like the sound they make when they are spun up to like the mid-ranges, mid-RPM ranges. Rear ABS engaged. It's just that much braking. Rear ABS engaged again. Ooh, this feels tiny. Also, it's an extremely sporty position for me. Really not used to it. And I know you'll tell me this is not at all sporty, just a street naked. Oh boy, it does feel tiny. The same engine as the Versys, but a much smaller and lighter frame. So technically it should be faster, but of course it's hard to tell when you're going so slow on these roads. Nice sporty bike though. Nice pull. Of course, as expected. I've seen some videos of this. This is actually capable of doing wheelies in second gear, but of course I'm not going to try that. I think this is going to be fatiguing for me for long rides, because you're kind of having to rest some weight of yours on the handlebars. Looks like an indicator is out on the right, because it's blinking pretty fast. It's got really good pull, but otherwise not quite the bike for me, I think. Definitely not good as the only bike for me. Maybe it'll be good for city rides and weekend rides, but definitely not long distance. I don't feel comfortable. My arms are not aching yet, but I think they will be soon. Man, will I ever be able to ride a super sport? This is not even sporty by most people's standards. So yeah, that was a pretty short test ride, but I kind of expected as much because of the roads around here, and also the fact that I'm not really familiar with all these roads. It's kind of confusing unless you have been around these places a few times. So yeah, I'm short to ride on the Versys 650, and I also took out the Z650 for another short spin. But again, I was not really comfortable on that. Felt way too small for me. Definitely not right for me as the only bike. So the Z is out. They didn't have a Ninja 650 for a test ride. I kind of wanted to try that as well, but they had a brand new one, so I just sat on it just to check how my posture is on that. That's better than the Z or Z 650, but it still feels a little cramped, for longer rides. By the way, if you don't know, I am 5 feet 9 inches, about 176 centimeters, I think. So that would give you a perspective of how my body fits on the various motorcycles. The Versys is definitely comfortable, but that also feels a little sporty, but not cramped. That way, if I compare it to the TRK, that's definitely more comfortable than the Versys. But like I said, the handlebar, the foot peg, that relation, that's better on the Versys somehow. It feels more natural. On the TRK, you would have to lean forward a little more because relatively your foot peg were not that far behind. Foot pegs. So I'm really tempted to go for the Versys. The thing is, I still haven't tested all the contenders. There's the V-Strom 650, of course, but that's even more expensive than the Versys. And but yeah, I should probably test it anyway, before deciding on anything. So what I know now is, after riding the Versys, it's kind of difficult to go with the TRK. So it's probably better I do a matrix of sorts, to do a comparison of the pros and cons of the various bikes I consider. That should help, right? So yeah, that's all I have for today. Let's see when I can go and check out the Suzuki V-Strom, and I'll talk to you then. Alright guys, take care, ride safe. See you on the next one. Bye. So this is that road in Bangalore where you ride on the or ride or drive on the wrong side. Almost feels like you're not in India, right?